Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has surprised many players with its combat system, which differs from the high-octane action fans may have expected. Instead of a pure action game, much of the gameplay revolves around stealth, with a mix of melee combat and opportunities for gunplay. But is it all about being sneaky? Not exactly. Melee and improvised combat. While stealth is a key component, the game doesn't just enforce quiet, hidden takedowns. Players can use a wide variety of melee weapons, including improvised items like frying pans or brooms. Melee combat is central to the gameplay, especially in stealth situations where players need to silently neutralize enemies. However, these makeshift weapons have a catch. They break after a set number of hits, indicated by white dots on the HUD. Fortunately, most of the world's objects can be used for combat, and if one weapon breaks, another is likely nearby. Indiana's classic weaponry also plays a role. Each of his disguises comes with a designated melee weapon, such as a shovel in his worker's uniform or a bat in his black shirt uniform. Even his revolver can double as a melee weapon, though it too will break with use. Repair kits scattered throughout the game allow players to fix their guns, but they can't be used on improvised weapons, which adds an extra layer of resource management. Anything can be a weapon, but nothing is invincible. In true Indiana Jones fashion, almost anything in the environment can be wielded as a weapon. From chairs to brooms, players can pick up almost anything and use it to fight. Even enemies' weapons are fair game. After stunning them with his whip, Indy can snatch their guns and use them to fight back. While this dynamic may seem odd, it provides an unexpected sense of freedom, as players can find themselves in combat with a stolen machine gun or knocking out enemies with their own gear. However, no weapon is indestructible. All melee items, no matter how sturdy they appear, will eventually break after repeated use. This forces players to think on their feet and adapt to the environment, making every combat encounter a mix of strategic thinking and fast reflexes. The repair kits add a layer of convenience, letting players repair their trusty weapons, but only those that belong to Indy. Improvised items remain one-time use. Stealth is not Indy's strength. Indiana Jones may be an adventurer, but stealth is not his strong suit. Players will quickly realize that Indy lacks the finesse of a character like Agent 47 from Hitman, making stealth more difficult. While he can steal disguises and carry unconscious enemies, his stamina is limited. He gets winded quickly, making it hard to hide bodies or move stealthily. Additionally, certain areas do not have hiding spots for bodies, making the stealth mechanics a bit more comical than efficient. Indy's poor stamina and lack of stealth expertise mean players will often be discovered. When that happens, the game doesn't punish them for it. Instead, it turns the situation into an opportunity for fun melee combat, whether it's using a frying pan or pistol whipping a Nazi. The game embraces this chaotic combat, allowing players to shift between stealth and full-blown action as they see fit. Gunfights and boss fights. Despite the focus on stealth and melee, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle doesn't entirely leave gun combat behind. There are sequences where players get to engage in gunfights, such as escaping Japanese warplanes while gunning them down with a turret. These sequences, though brief, are a fun departure from the usual gameplay, giving players a chance to indulge in their desired gunplay. Later in the game, players team up with rebels and engage in firefights against fascists, taking cover and using their revolvers to take down enemies. The game also features one-on-one boss fights, where players can use their fists for hand-to-hand combat but are free to equip their revolvers if they prefer. This flexibility is a welcome feature, allowing players to decide how they want to approach each encounter. Conclusion: players expecting a full-on gun-centric experience may be initially disappointed by the stealth-heavy gameplay in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. However, the game offers enough variety to keep things interesting, allowing for a blend of stealth, improvisation, and combat. While Indy is no Agent 47, his struggles with stealth make the combat more dynamic and enjoyable. Whether sneaking around with a broom or engaging in a full-on firefight, the game provides players with plenty of ways to approach every combat situation. So, don't write it off. Embrace the chaos and find your own way to tackle the adventure.